how's it going? It's William from Rocket Zero and welcome to another pixel art tutorial. In this video, we're going to be building Rick Flag from Suicide Squad. Now I also built Slipknot and then Captain Boomerang, Killer Croc, and Enchantress, which I'm really happy with how she turned out. And then Katana. And better yet, let me take a better look at them because this is actually their front. So that's Katana, El Diablo, Deadshot with the mask. I also made a version of him without the mask. And then Harley Quinn, which I think she looks great. And then the Joker. But for Rick Flag, who was designed by our good friend the Ola, go check him out. We just need some gray wool, black wool, light gray wool, stone, polish andesite, white stained clay, and then a bit of brown wool. So we're going to begin by grabbing our gray wool, lining up and placing 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can grab our black wool and we can do the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go up with 1 black wool. We're going to grab our gray wool and we're going to go up by 3 blocks. So 1, 2, 3. And then a gray wool to the right. A gray wool right here. And then a light gray wool. Because those are going to be like his baggy cargo pants. Like the military pants that this dude rocks in the movie. Now we're going to place another gray wool right here. I'm sorry. On the top we're going to place 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to place 1 down here. We are going to grab our black wool and replace 1 here and here. Now we're going to grab our gray wool and starting right below this black wool, we're going to go down by 3 blocks. So 1, 2, 3. And then black wool and then 4 black wools moving towards the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 4 gray wools right below that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Now we need to finish this little cargo pants, so we're going to place 1 gray wool and then a light gray wool. And there we go. Those are going to be his shoes and pants. Now we can work on his midsection. So for the midsection, we are going to need our gray wool. And we're going to place 1 block on top of each black wool, just like that. And then we can grab our black wool and we're going to place 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to place 1 here and here. We can grab our gray wool and we're going to place 1 block. And then 3 gray wools on the top. Now on top of this gray, we're going to place 3 black wools. Now we need to grab our light gray wool and we're going to go up by 3. So 1, 2, 3 on this side. Same thing over here. 1, 2, 3. Now we need to grab our gray wool once again and we're going to place 1, 2, 3. And then a black wool on either side. So that's going to be his shirt. Now we need to give him some sleeves and an arm and then his gun. So for that, we are going to need our gray wool. And then we're going to place 1 light gray wool on top. And then next to it. And for his arm, we're going to be using white stained clay for his skin color. So we're going to place 1 block and then 1 to the right, taking this one out. And then 1 below to the right, taking this one out. So we have this 2 diagonal white stained clay blocks. For his fist, we're going to grab our black wool and we're going to place 3 blocks just like that. And then a gray wool, whoops, right here in this little corner. So this is what we have for Rick Flag so far. Pause it if you need to, he's coming along really nicely. Uh-oh, I think I might have built him too close because that gun sticks out a lot. But we'll just break that if we need to make room. Okay, so now for this sleeve, or I mean the shoulder thing, we're going to grab our, what are we going to grab? We're going to grab our light gray wool and replace 1 block. And then a gray wool and light gray wool to the left. Now starting right here, it's where his gun's going to begin. So we're going to grab our gray wool and we're going to go up by 3 blocks. So 1, 2, 3. And then 1 extra block right there. Now below this, we're going to grab our white stained clay and replace 2 blocks just like that. And then we need to grab our black wool. And we're going to place 3 blocks for his hand. We're going to grab our polish andesite. And we're going to place 1, 2. And then right above this black wool for his hand, we're going to place 3 blocks of our gray wool. So 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be like the stock of the gun, you know, like the thing that you put against your shoulder. So like when the gun fires, it provides more stability. So that's what that is. Now we need to start working on like the whole barrel system, or just whatever the middle part of the gun is. I'm not sure what that's called. So we're going to grab our stone and we're going to place 1, 2, 3. And then a polish andesite. Now we're going to go up here, and we're going to grab our light gray wool, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3, and then 2 blocks right. We're going to grab our black wool, and starting right here in this little tip, we're going to place 2 black wools. Now we need to grab our stone, and we're going to place 4 blocks on top of the black wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a polished andesite in the front. That's going to be the scope. And now right here we need to work on like the clip area, and for the clip we're going to grab our gray wool and replace 2 blocks, and then next to it 2 stone blocks. Below the stone we're going to place 1 gray wool and then another stone. So this is what we should have for the gun so far. Pause it if you need to. Now we're going to grab our gray wool and we're going to place 5 blocks starting here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the top we're going to place 4 blocks of our stone. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think we should be good with room, but we did definitely cut it close. So now we're going to grab our black and we're going to place 4 blocks right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a polished andesite. I almost called it a stone, but no, it's going to be a polished andesite. Now we're going to need our stone, and we're going to place 1 block here. And then we're going to place 1, 2, 3, taking this one out. And there we go. That's going to be the gun that Rick Flag uses in the movie Suicide Squad. Now he needs a head, so that's very important. We cannot finish this tutorial without that. So we're going to go right behind him, and we're going to give him a neck so that he can have a head. So we're going to have our 3 blocks of our white stained clay 1 row behind the main pixel art. And then we're going to grab our gray wool and replace 1 block here and 1 here as well. So now we can go to the front. And there we go. That's going to be his neck. Now we can begin with his face. Sadly, you know, he has like a gingerness to him. He has like almost like red hair, blonde, brown type of mitts. But Minecraft doesn't have that many color options, so we're just going to have to use our brown. Feel free to use any other color to make it look a little more lifelike, because he does have somewhat of blonde hair, but unless we use yellow wool, which will just look a little too bright, it's not going to look good. So I chose brown. But feel free to make it any color you want if you think it's going to look better. So we're going to have a brown. I'm sorry, got to do that again. We're going to have 2 white stained clays, and then a brown, and then a white stained clay. Then we're going to place 3 brown... What am I saying? We're going to place 3 brown wools. And then on this side, we're going to place 3 brown wools as well. So 1, 2, 3. And now we can do the same thing on the other side. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to grab our white stained clay, and we're going to place 3 blocks here. And 3 blocks here as well. And now for his eyes, we're going to use our gray wool, and we are going to place 1, 2, 3, and then another row of 3 blocks, and in the last row we're only going to place 2, and then a light gray wool. 3 blocks of white stained clay separating the 2 eyes. And then we're going to grab our gray wool, and we're going to do the same thing. So 3 blocks, and 3 blocks, and 2, and then 1. So make sure you guys have this flag. Now we're going to need our white stained clay, and starting right here where this eye begins, we're going to go up by 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need to go back down and put 1 brown wool right there. Now we're going to go to this side and do the same thing. So our brown wool, and then 4 blocks of our white stained clay. So 2, 3, and 4. Now starting right here, we're going to place 3 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, and then 2 rows of 4 blocks going up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do it here as well. 3 blocks going up, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 rows of 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. And then right here, we're going to connect them and then just fill in the gap with our white stained clay. And that's going to be basically his face, but he does need some brown wool. And then we're going to go back and give him some ears so he doesn't look so weird. So let's do the ears right now. We're going to go back behind the pixel art, and we're going to place 1 block and then next to it at the same height where the eye starts. And that's going to be his ears. Same thing on this side. Right where the eye starts, we're going to place 1 block and then 2 more. And there we go. That's going to be his ears. Now we can grab our brown wool, and we're going to begin by placing 3 blocks here. So 1, 2, 3, and then 2. So 1, 2. And then we're going to make a square made out of 4 blocks of our brown wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what that side of his head should look like. We're going to do now the net, not the net side, but the other side. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, and then a square made out of 4 blocks of our brown wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this middle area right here, we're going to go up by 4 blocks 3 times to fill in the gap. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's it. That's going to be the pit solar tutorial for Rick Flag from Suicide Squad. I had a great time building all of the Suicide Squad members like Slipknot, Captain Boomerang, Killer Croc, Enchantress, Katana, El Diablo, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and the Joker himself. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to check out the other pit solar tutorials. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Tell your friends about us, and we'll see you next time.